Well, good evening everyone and welcome to the Mangata Development Stadium, Meadow Park. much as the night sky appears over Meadow Park. It's a bit of a personal game for me as well. I've had the great pleasure of covering a majority of Boreham Wood home games this season, and I've covered most of the West Ham under-21s game this season. We're live, of course, on National League TV, and a big hello to all of you tuning in on the West Ham United YouTube channel tonight as well. So it's going to be West Ham to get us underway, and Josh Landers, he is waiting to get things going for us, has been amongst the goals recently as well, Josh Landers. He's Scottish forward. 8 goals in all competitions, 7 in Premier League 2, the most of anybody in the West Ham camp this season. And straight away, the ball is out of play. Ted Curd has it, the man on loan from Chelsea for Boreham Wood. Loan spell at #United as well for Ted Curd. Great atmosphere here inside Meadow Park tonight. Well, both these sides have entertained throughout the course of the National League Cup this season. West Ham kicked things off with a 2-0 win over Woking. Very first game of the season. Lewis Orford, who's in the side tonight, he scored in that game. It was a 3-3 draw against Sutton. And the interesting thing about the National League Cup is if a group game ends up a draw, there's a penalty shootout for an extra point, so you can actually get 2 points in a game. And West Ham won that shootout in a 3-3 draw with Sutton. Then there was a 3-0 win over Truro, a 5-1 hammering of Aldershot. Then in the quarter-finals, a 2-1 win over Boston. And in that 3-1 win over Tamworth in the semi-final, despite being down to 10 men, it was Josh Ajala who scored 2 goals in injury time at the end of the game to send the Hammers through to the final. For Boreham Wood, well, 20 goals more than anybody else in this season's National League Cup. Started things off with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest, a 3-1 win over West Bromwich Albion, then a 4-3 win over Leicester, and then a thumping 4-0 win over Wolves. And a ball whips across just out of play. A vibrant start from West Ham here, right in front of the North Bank where all the Boreham Wood home support is camped. And there is that man, Lewis Orford, we were just talking about as well. He is a real threat. Boreham Wood came through an eventful tie, 5-2 in the quarterfinals against Brackley. Matt Rush scoring a brace that day, and in the semi-final, beating Truro by 2-0. So it's a competition Luke Garrard, the Boreham Wood manager, is very eager to win. It could be a best ever season in the history of Boreham Wood. Best they've ever achieved as a 4th place finish in the National League in the 2017-18 season. Currently find themselves 4th in the National League again. They could end the campaign getting themselves promoted into the Football League for the first time in their history, and with another piece of silverware to go as well. Throw for West Ham just inside their own half. Forward it goes to Ajala. Certainly a dangerous player. It's pushed over to Clayton on his left-hand side. It's Regan Clayton into the box. It's a wonderful save by Kurt, not quite cleared yet. Ajala can't quite get a foot onto it, and it's cleared away by the captain Reynolds into the path of Brunt. Pushes the ball forward. It's a bit of a foot race down here between Josh Briggs and Matt Rush. It goes back to Herrick in goal. Orford picks it up. And West Ham have looked lively and dangerous in the opening stages. Well, West Ham fans, you may recognise Charlie O'Connell for Boreham Wood. He's wearing the number 6 today for Boreham Wood. Actually did come through the West Ham United youth ranks, but left the Hammers to join Peterborough. And he's been at Boreham Wood since 2024 after leaving the Posh. Here is Chris Bush pushing it over to Femi Lasamni now. Here's Abdul Malik. He is a very dangerous player as well, an exciting attacking player, former Millwall under-21 player. So O'Connell can't quite keep it in, runs out of play. Look at the away support here, absolutely fantastic. Great to see so many packed in the North Bank here as well. We're on the roof of the main stand. There's a number of people beneath our position. In fact, the dugouts are right beneath us as well. I can see the head of Greg Lincoln and Luke Gerrard just beneath us. Gives us a great view of the action. Here's Oyabadi to take the free kick for West Ham. A lot of people starting to get in contact with me already. Daniel Wilson says we are here in person. Say hi to Luke, hi to Sandra in the director's box, and good luck to the Wood. Yeah, if you do want to shout out, then please do get in contact. The live chat is open on the West Ham YouTube channel. Please do say hello. If it isn't, I often do this with Boreham Wood. You can get in contact with me throughout the course of the day on X at @IanWaterhouse1 or on Instagram @Waterhouse2. I'd love to hear from you. And as ever, if you ever listen to my commentary, you know I do have a couple of quiz questions coming up for you throughout the course of the game. But let's get back to the action, shall we? That was Tom White. It's good to see Tom White back. He has had a lengthy spell on the sidelines for Boreham Wood. The 28-year-old midfielder, ball's going to run all the way through. Actually, a little bit earlier today, I was talking to Finley Herrick's dad, who's in the away end tonight. He was full of compliments for Boreham Wood as well, saying his son was having a brilliant time. As I said, he was on loan here at the start of the season. 11 appearances, was recalled by Nuno Espirito Santo for the West Ham first team. And he's back between the sticks tonight at a club he knows very well and is thought very highly of. Akpata gets his back underway. Here is Ajala now. He's got Clayton on the overlap. That's the intended target, and it finds Clayton. Gets the ball into the box, but it dives into the feet of Callum Reynolds. Here's Richardson now. Richardson, the only player in the Boreham Wood camp to have appeared in the Premier League. Made 2 appearances for Burnley, and he's dragged down to the ground by Regan Clayton. And it's going to be a free kick for Boreham Wood. Here's O'Connell. It's Callum Reynolds now, who's also had a bit of a stint on the sidelines. Both these sides come into this one after defeats, and Herrick with a little bit of nifty footwork there, sending Zach Brunt the wrong way. Here's Orford now. It was a defeat at the weekend for Boreham Wood, lost 3-2 away at Halifax. Before that, it was an eventful 2-2 away at Woking. Boreham Wood were reduced to 10 men in that game, but managed to get a late equaliser. For West Ham, have actually done the last 4 or 5 games for the under-21s. A disappointing 2-1 home defeat against Reading last Friday. Here's Zach Brunt. He lays it off for White, who gets the shot away. Well, it took a wicked block and out of play. It's a corner for Boreham Wood right in front of the travelling support. Regan Bootie's the man who's going to take the corner. And it's suddenly brought the North Bank alive off to our left. And it is a superb atmosphere inside Meadow Park. One of the best I've experienced here. Final of the National League Cup. It's headed away. I think it was Orford who got the touch on it. Comes back in, it's going to be a goal kick. Yeah, disappointing defeat for West Ham last time out in Premier League 2, 2-1 defeat at home against Reading. Before that, it was a very disappointing 4-2 defeat away at Derby, who going into that game were rock bottom of Premier League 2. So Boreham Wood, of course, going very well, 4th in the Enterprise National League this season. Won 21 of their 38 played so far, 8 draws, just 9 defeats. 77 goals scored in the National League this season. Only York, who have scored, 100 goals, have scored more than Boreham Wood this season. In front of goal, the Wood do not struggle at all. And as I said, they've scored 20 in this competition, 2 more than West Ham's 18. Boreham Wood have the most. Certainly looking to see if they can secure that playoff place. And who knows, they could be playing EFL football next season for the first time in their history. West Ham United currently 9th in Premier League 2. Premier League 2 for Category 1 teams. Academy Category 1 teams made up of 29 teams in total. Premier League 2 table. There's 20 match days in total. The top 16 in the division qualify for the end of season elimination playoffs, with first place 16th, second place 15th, so forth. And also next season's Premier League International Cup, which is essentially the European Cup of Academy Football. West Ham have played the likes of Anderlecht this season, and Athletic Bilbao, and Sporting, and Borussia Dortmund. Didn't quite go their way though this season. They were out in the group stages. Big game tonight. I'll be back on comms actually on Friday as well with West Ham under-21s as they travel to Blackburn in their penultimate Premier League 2 game of the season. Here's Orford trying to feed it through to Akpata, but it goes to Ajala. Ajala lays it off for Akpata, who's coming under pressure from Abdul Malik. It's a physical game we're seeing in the heart of midfield. Orford pushes it over to the right. Orford again. Theorin is forced to go back to Colin Beckis, the captain. Second time Colin Beckis has worn the captain's armband in this competition. Wore it against Woking, the opening game of the season. Ajala just trying to find a little bit of space. Pushes it over to the right side with Ryan Battram. Has been on the score sheet, 2 goals in this competition for Ryan Battram this season. Orford tries to load up, but Booty gets his body in the way. Now Abdul Malik can pick it up. Abdul Malik, once he gets going, is so difficult to stop. Colin Beckis going toe-to-toe with him. It's still Abdul Malik. Still Abdul Malik into the box. He's just hustled off, and Colin Beckis does so well to not concede the corner and knock it out for a throw. When there's space to run into, the ball falling to Abdul Malik is going to cause West Ham all sorts of problems in this game. Chris Bush is going over to take this, and he has got a long throw on him as well. Certainly something Boreham Wood will utilise tonight. Right in front of the travelling support, because not too far to come. Just around the M25, we're in South Hertfordshire here. In it comes. It's Briggs, I think, who got the final touch. There's Booty. Shouts of shoot, but his body was not facing the goal. He's got some hit on him, Regan Booty. Started the season on loan from Barrow. That move was made permanent, and on his debut for Boreham Wood, Regan Booty scored from the halfway line against Gateshead. Gateshead are the visitors here to Meadow Park this Saturday. Zach Brunt. Back to Ted Curd. Curd has the ball at his feet. I think it might be a good time to get our first quiz question of the night in as well. And in honour of Boreham Wood and West Ham both having the 3 letters HAM in their name, H-A-M, consecutively, I've done my research. There are 15 teams in total in England's top 5 tiers that have HAM in their names, H-A-M consecutively. Who are they? Pop it in the live chat, or let me know on X at IanWaterhouse1, or on Instagram, Ian.Waterhouse2. Just respond to the post attached to this game, or drop me a message. I'll be able to pick it up. If you're celebrating something, let me know as well. I'd love to hear from you. And as ever, where are you watching from tonight? I want to know what town you're in, what city, what country. Are you in the UK? Whereabouts in the UK? If you're overseas, what city, what town, what village? Let me know. Get in contact on social or in the live chat if it's open tonight. I'd love to hear from you. Here's Tom White. Reynolds, vastly experienced Callum Reynolds, the 36-year-old, started his career in the youth setup at Portsmouth. It's actually his second spell with Boreham Wood. Also played for the likes of Bromley and Dagenham, Redbridge, Barnet, Aldershot, Tamworth and Basingstoke. Here's Curd, as he said, the man on loan from Chelsea. Also represented England, Ted Curd, like Finlay Herrick at under 16, 17s and under 19 level. Here's Lewis Orford again. He's seen a lot of the ball, the West Ham number 8, as he always does, the 20-year-old. 2 National League Cup goals this season, coming against Aldershot and Woking. Here's Preston Fearon now. Talking about players who have impressed this season, here's another one. He scored in the National League Cup as well, scoring against Tamworth. 9 goals for Preston Fearon in all competitions for West Ham under-21s this season. Because it's not just the National League Cup and Premier League 2 they've played in the Premier League International Cup as well, and of course the EFL Trophy. Had an impressive 1-0 away win at Colchester earlier in the season. A Ayabadi has the ball. Plays it quickly to Ajala. So Josh Landers trying to get up, and Bush calmly hands it back to Ted Curd. Feeds it through to White. Boreham Wood are starting to get a lot of players who have spent a bit of time on the sidelines back. Tom White is one who's only fairly recently returned back to the lineup for Boreham Wood. Callum Reynolds has had a lengthy spell on the sidelines, but it's good to see him back. And Eriko Souza on the bench tonight for Boreham Wood. He's a bit of a magician when he gets going. He's been a big miss in Boreham Wood's push for promotion. Shouts of Irons off to our right. I love hearing it. As we said, for me personally, it couldn't have been a more magical final. I've done about 15 West Ham under-21s games this season and about 17, 18 Boreham Wood home games this season. Two sides I know better than any other in English football. Booty to Bush. Here's White. Ilisami in a bit of space over on that far side, but White decides to go a little bit more central. Booty now switching it over to the right side. Here's Richardson, the former Burnley man. Booty again. Boreham Wood just getting a little bit more confident on the ball now as this first half progresses. And just as I say that, Ilisami causes Chris Bush to give the ball away. It's going to be a throw. Colin Beckis to take it on the far side. Well, remember tonight it has to be settled, the final of the 2025-26 National League Cup. If it's a tie after 90, we go to a penalty shootout. We will see a winner. Leeds United under-21s, the current holders. It's just the second edition of it. So who will add their name? Will it be Boreham Wood or West Ham? I just sense this trophy is going to grow and grow in importance this season. What a way to build momentum as the end of the campaign draws near for both these sides. They've still got plenty to play for. West Ham looking likely to end in the top 16 for Premier League 2, so they'll qualify for the elimination players. I don't want to speak too soon. They've got 2 games left in Premier League 2 this season. West Ham both away from home. First up this Friday, you can watch that on the West Ham YouTube channel as well. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff, Blackburn Rovers against West Ham under-21s. And then on Saturday the 4th of April, they travel to Tottenham Hotspur for the final Premier League 2 game of the regular season. Boreham Wood in action, of course, this Saturday, back in Enterprise National League action. Gateshead are the visitors here to South Hertfordshire. There's a few other games taking place tonight as well in the Enterprise National League, but they don't kick off till 7:45 or so. And here's O'Connell to White. Well, the game just started to settle down a little bit now after a blistering start. West Ham almost scoring in the opening 120 seconds or so. And Boreham Wood having their own opportunity as well. Booty knocks it down to Brunt, who tries to chip Herrick, and he puts it over instead. Well, he's got it in his locker, has Zach Brunt. Won the National League last season with Barnet. Only conceded 6 goals in this competition as well, have Boreham Wood. Very, very tight defence indeed. And West Ham only conceded 4 in the group stage as well, so these two sides have shown strong resistance at the back. Here's Clayton now, though, hustling and winning the ball well. Such a bright player, Regan Clayton. He's been on the bench during West Ham's Europa Conference League triumph. Travelled with the squad for a few games during that successful campaign, just to get a bit of senior experience. Abdul Malik now picks up the ball. He's also had a loan spell at Dagenham Redbridge, has Regan Clayton, so has got a bit of experience of this level. Here's Abdul Malik now. Oh, wonderful touch by Preston Fearon to take the ball away. And Abdul Malik just hooks down Lewis Orford, and it's a free kick. Well, remember that quiz question we've got going for you as well, the first one of the day. There are 15, I make it 15 teams. I had 14, but actually the West Ham chaps off to my right gave me an answer that I hadn't written down. So there's 15 teams in England's top 5 tiers, so the Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2 and the National League, that have Ham in their name. Yes, H-A-M. You're looking at 2 of them, so who are the other 13? Boreham Wood, of course, and West Ham. Who are the other 13? Just shout them out, pop them in the live chat, get in contact with me on social, on X, at Ian Waterhouse1, or on Instagram, Ian.Waterhouse2. And whilst you do that, let me know where you're watching as well. We'll start to give some shout outs throughout the course of the night. Here's Oyabadi holding on to the ball under pressure from Richardson. Goes out of play and it's a throw. O'Connell takes it quickly to Booty. Booty to Bush. Ilisamni on the halfway line. And Abdul Malik now picks it up. Bit of a heavy touch, but he manages to hold on to it well. Scoops it away from Orford. Now Ilisamni wants to try and gain a few yards. Zach Brunt goes down under the challenge from Colin Beckis and wins a free kick inside the West Ham half. Well, Boreham Wood might be quite handy in front of goal, but West Ham are no slouches either as it comes in from Matt Rush again, and you can see what Finlay Herrick thinks of that one. But it is a corner now for Boreham Wood. This is West Ham's 34th game tonight in all competitions this season. They've scored in 30 of the previous 33 coming into tonight. And as we know, Boreham Wood's scoring prowess. So 0-0 is something I did not expect tonight. Corner for Boreham Wood, right in front of the vast travelling support. West Ham selling out the away end here. Over 1,250 tickets sold. Big thank you to all of you for coming out today and all of you watching tonight. Booty into the box. It's Booty gets shot away, but Herrick managed to get his body in the way. And now West Ham try to, what a delicious ball that was from Tyrone Akpata to Fearon. Here's Ajala. Josh Ajala working to a bit of space. He gets a shot away and it just misses. Left of the post. In fact, it's taken a touch and it's a corner. Well, that's brought the West Ham fans alive off to our right. Suddenly when Josh Ajala, the 19-year-old, gets the ball at his feet, it's so dangerous. 4 goals in this competition for Ajala this season. Scored that brace against Tamworth in the semi-final. He's got 11 in all competitions for the Hammers. And now it's a corner for West Ham. I've seen him score from corners this season as well. In it comes, it's a good delivery. It was Colin Beckis trying to get up there first. It's going to run all the way through. In fact, it's come off a Boreham Wood head, which I think has caused a couple of surprising looks. Zach Brunt certainly doesn't agree with the referee there. But Colin Beckis is going to head on over and take this. Captain tonight, Aridas Colin Beckis, the 18-year-old. A big moment for him as well. Score against Aldershot in that 5-1 win into the box. Finlay Samley using all of his experience to shield the ball, and now it goes up to Abdul Malik, but wonderful defending by Ryan Battram. Here's Akpata now. Akpata trying to deliver another lovely ball. It was Akpata who delivered that beautiful ball through to Preston Fearon a moment ago. And Tyrone Akpata, he has scored a scintillating equaliser earlier this season against Norwich in Premier League 2. I still have dreams about that goal. It was a thing of absolute beauty. Pile driver. Absolutely pinpoint accuracy it was. And that made it 2-2 in that particular game. Well, Abdul Malik as well, wearing the number 10. He was voted the National League October Player of the Month. He's got a cousin. His cousin Tino Andrewin actually plays for Torino in Serie A. He comes from good stock, Femi Lissamni. It's going to be left for Herrick. Oyabadi now, forced to go back to Herrick, who had Lewis Richardson just over his shoulder. Strong header forward there by Callum Reynolds. Just put it back into the danger zone a little bit. Throw taken quickly. Here's Booty now for Boreham Wood. Fed through to Richardson. Oh, a slight slip. And Oyabadi's going to pick the loose ball up. Reynolds calmly puts the ball into the path of White. It goes back to Chris Bush. Another vastly experienced player, Chris Bush, 33-year-old. He's been at Boreham Wood since 2022. Started his career in the academy at Brentford. Won the FA Trophy in 2022 with Bromley. Here's Rush through on goal, and it's Matt Rush! But the assistance flag has gone up. He's just straight offside, and it does not count. Well, Matt Rush's eyes lit up. There was a roar from the North Bank, but it ever so slightly strayed offside, Matt Rush. He puts it into the back of the net, but it does not count, and it remains Boreham Wood 0, West Ham United under-21s 0 in the final of the National League Cup. Well, credit to the assistants for picking that up. Your referee, Elliot Swallow, and assisted by Marcus Carmichael and Coleman O'Meara. I'm not sure whether it was Marcus or Coleman who picked it up, but either way, it looks like it was the right call anyway. Here's O'Connell. It just goes to show the danger, but it's been pushed up. Here's Josh Landers now, right at the other end. Kurt makes the save. It's gone into the back of the net, and this time I think it's Lewis Orford who gets the final touch. And from a disallowed goal at one end to one that counts at the other, and in the blink of an eye, West Ham take the lead. Well, from the highs of thinking they've taken the lead to disappointment at the other end for Boreham Wood. But it was great work, hard work, and it was Lewis Orford, to my eye, who got the final touch. Just having a little look at the replay as well. It's Preston Fearon who fed it through to Landers. It was a brilliant initial save, actually, by Ted Curd. Orford got the final touch on it. Might have hit a Boreham Wood body on the way in, taking a bit of momentum off it, but no denying it, Lewis Orford will claim that one. So it's a third goal in the National League Cup for Lewis Orford, a 7th in all competitions. And without a doubt, it's probably his biggest of the season, one of his biggest that he's ever scored for the Hammers. Abdul Malik, though, charging over on this far side. He's done well to keep the ball in. He has kept it in as well. Abdul Malik, look at him, he's full of energy now and vigour. The ball comes in though, and Herrick dives onto it. Well, I said there's no way this was going to be a 0-0 game. And already deadlock has been broken. Oh, and O'Connell had to get the ball away from Ajala. Here's Chris Bush. Again, dispossessed. Here's Ajala. Ajala with the shot. Just dragging it right at the post. A couple of errors at the back, just costing Boreham Wood a little bit here. And that could have been a very costly mistake indeed. A few people getting in contact as well. Lando is watching from Vancouver in Canada, saying, "Come on, you Irons." Thank you, Lando. Issa Fowler, who always tunes in for Boreham Wood games, is watching as well. Watching from Asbury Park in New Jersey. As ever, thank you to all of you for tuning in and watching this game tonight. We really do appreciate it. will Boreham Wood respond? I wonder what Luke Gerrard is thinking, the Boreham Wood manager beneath us in the dugouts. He is Mr. Boreham Wood, is Luke Gerrard. First took over the reins in the hot seat back in 2015. When he did, he became the youngest manager of any side in England's top 5 tiers. He's still a young man now at just 40 years of age. He's won 2 Hearts Senior Cups with Boreham Wood, and of course last season's National League South playoffs. Boreham Wood only promoted back into the National League last season. Beat Maidstone here in the summer by a 1-0. It's Charles Claydon on the score sheet that day. Fearon picks up the ball. Does he fancy trying to have a go? He's trying to work into a bit of space, and Abdul Malik picks it up now. Now he's going to go, and he just chases past Tyron Akpata there. And it's still Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik. Through to Zach Brunt, who lays it off for Booty, who feeds it through to Matt Rush. Rush gets the shot away, takes the deflection on its way through, goes out of play for a corner. End-to-end stuff here at Meadow Park. What a superb game. A wonderful evening. But we do have a West Ham player down at the minute. I'm just trying to see who it is. I think it's Tyron Akpata who's currently down on the ground. That gives us another chance just to remind you of the first quiz question of the night. There are 15 teams in England's top 5 tiers that have ham in them. H-A-M consecutively. Who are they? You're looking at 2 of them, Boreham Wood and West Ham, of course. Who are the other 13? You can let me know on X at IanWaterhouse1 or on Instagram, Ian.Waterhouse2. Or if the live chat is open on YouTube, then please do comment in there as well. So the player's just taking on a bit of hydration beneath our position whilst Akpata is receiving a little bit of treatment. As I said, he's a very exciting player, Tyron Akpata, 19-year-old, joined West Ham at under 15s level. He's a Dagenham boy, born and bred. Won the FA Youth Cup and under-18 Premier South with West Ham in 2023. A memorable season indeed. Made 32 appearances for the under-21s last season. That was the most of anybody in a West Ham shirt. So I can see Greg Lincoln down there for West Ham just giving out his instructions. And Akpata, pleased to say, is back on his feet again. Well, no doubt Greg Lincoln will be pleased with what he's seen from his side so far. It's been a physical game, but it was Orford with the goal for West Ham. Boreham Wood 0, West Ham 1 in the final of the National League Cup. The 19th goal of this competition for West Ham. I'd kept 2 clean sheets in this competition, played 6 games coming into tonight. Clean sheet against Truro and Woking. And the corner comes in. Richardson's going to get it back out again to Regan Booty. Booty with a deep ball to the back post, but it's headed back in by Chris Bush and hooked away by Orford. From 1-8 to another 8 with Zach Brunt at the ball now. Josh Landers for a little bit of company, feeds it through to Abdul Malik. White in space, Booty's in plenty of space as well and picks up the ball now. Booty switching it over to Brunt. Lovely little back heel into the path of Abdul Malik now. Landers and Batcham trying to team up. The ball comes into the box, it's whipped right through. Richardson has it, still Lewis Richardson. And puts it straight to a West Ham shirt. And an opportunity for both sides to reset a little bit here with Boreham Wood pushing the ball just inside the West Ham half. Again, another little flick on by Zach Brunt. It's time to the path of Abdul Malik and it goes back to Ilisamni. White through to Femi Ilisamni now. So a massive thank you to all of you for tuning in tonight. If you're watching on the West Ham YouTube channel, please hit that like button and subscribe button as well. Plenty of content coming up for you. This Friday, you can watch this team, the under-21s, in action again as they travel to Blackburn Rovers. A 1 o'clock kickoff in the penultimate game of the Premier League 2 season. I'll be on commentary for that one. It'd be great to have you along. Here's Colin Beckis now. And Boreham Wood fans, of course, don't forget, back in action this Saturday here. 3 o'clock kickoff against Gateshead. It'd be great to have you inside the stadium for that one as well. Here's Zach Brunt. Booty. So away back into this one. We've got just over 10 minutes to go to the break. Here's Orford. Ball over the top. It's going to test Reynolds, who calmly heads it back to Ted Curd in goal. And all the way back over to Femi Ilisamni now. White just clipped by Orford. Free kick is given. Here's Reynolds. Richardson. Back to Callum Reynolds. Boreham Wood just looking to hold on to the ball at the minute. It's fed through to Zach Brunt, and Baddy is there first of all to hook it back into the Boreham Wood half. It's going to go out for a throw deep inside the Boreham Wood half. Referee wants Reynolds to go back a little bit. Connell was going to take the throw now. Well, what have you made of the game so far, everybody? West Ham fans, you must be delighted. Boreham Wood fans, still a long way to go in this game. The ball's back at the feet with Finlay Herrick now. Well, Boreham Wood in the league find themselves 13 points inside the playoffs, so the season looks likely to be extended. As we said, with West Ham in Premier League 2 on 27 points, played 18, 20 match days in total, won 7 of those. Did finish 4th last season in Premier League 2, West Ham. A couple of defeats coming into this one against Reading in Derby County, sort of surprise defeats as well. Reading and Derby both in the bottom section of the table. It's a new part of Premier League 2 this season as well. Sides who finish 17th to 24th go into a cross-category competition with the top 8 from the Professional Development League, which is the league made up of Category 2 academy sides. There's 29 teams in total, so a majority of the sides at end of season will be extended. For Boreham Wood, a playoff campaign looks a very likely scenario indeed. Regan Clayton just been spoken to by the referee extensively there, but it is a free kick. You can see Booty and Brunt stood over the ball. Booty is more traditionally the dead ball specialist for Boreham Wood, former Barrow man, as we've said. And now Abdul Malik comes over as well. Regan Booty, the 28-year-old. Scored 2 goals in this competition so far. The man wearing the number 23 for Boreham Wood tonight. It comes in, it's drilled low. Can't beat Clayton. And Femi Ilisamni dumps the ball lovely into the path of Zach Brunt. He tries to take it past Clayton. And Clayton does well to hold on to it and whip it forward. Reynolds wins the head. Preston Fearon was a little bit swamped by white shirts there. Booty does well to find O'Connell now. Feeds it to Brunt. Back to O'Connell on this right side. Here's Abdul Malik. And Chris Bush. Well, Meadow Park, where we're playing, it also sees a lot of action from the Arsenal youth teams as well. And Baddy gets there first. And it's a nice clearance into the path of Preston Fearon. And look at Batrim charging forward, the number 2. Again, Ajala just hovering over on this left side of the pitch. Here is Herrick. Akpata now. Seems to be in fine form once again. What a lovely ball through to Josh Ajala. It's still Ajala, referee playing advantage. Still Josh Ajala, he goes down under the challenge. Referee waves it away. You can imagine what Preston Fearon and Josh Ajala think of that one. He played advantage. We continue. Boreham Wood having the ball at their feet. Here is White, who I thought was going to be called up for a foul, but he hasn't been. And Oyabadi now gets there. The ball was intended for Lewis Richardson, but as I've seen so often this season, Ryan Oyabadi, the 18-year-old, he's actually Greek, but has represented England at under-15s. He was actually in the under-18s, the captain of the under-18s in last season's Premier League Cup final win over Reading at the Select Car Leasing Stadium, 2-1 that day. The under-21s the under-18s are no strangers to lifting trophies. 2023, they won the under-18 Premier League South and the FA Youth Cup, and last season they won the Premier League Cup. Here's White. A number of these players tonight were part of the side that won the FA Youth Cup. Herrick takes the ball. Now we've got 5 to go to the break here. Boreham Wood 0, West Ham United 1. I'll give you the quiz question answer at the break as well. Here's Orford. Shouts of Irons. Irons off to my right here. So the West Ham fans selling out the away end tonight. Brilliant. It looks like there's custom shirts made as well for West Ham. Pretty certain they've got the opposition and date, and of course National League Cup final written on the front of their shirts. I was here quite early actually, and testing out the fireworks and the pyrotechnics, which we expect to see a little bit later as well. So I had a sneak peek earlier. Just kicking off at 7 o'clock, these National League Cup games. Booty goes back to Chris Bush. All comes down to this. 32 teams started this competition. Format is quite simple. 4 groups of 8 teams, 4 from the National League and 4 from Category 1 and under-21 teams. Top 2 from each group then qualify for the quarter-final. And then straight through to semi-finals and then the final, of course. West Ham topped Group C, winning 3 out of the 4 games, beating Truro, Woking and Aldershot, drawing 1 against Sutton, but then winning the penalty shootout for an extra point. Boreham Wood with a perfect record, topping Group B. 4 wins from 4, scoring 13, conceding 9 though, 12 points. Tamworth, the only other side with a perfect record in the group stage. And of course, Tamworth is who West Ham beat in the semi-final very memorably as well. A brace from Josh Ajala in the 91st and 97th minute to send 10-man West Ham through to the final here tonight. Could have been a very different story indeed. Here's White. Here's Oyabadi. Orford is screaming for it. Fearon though receives it. Here's Akpata. Batrim's in a bit of space on the right side. Here's Orford again. Boreham Wood getting bodies back to try and defend. They can ill afford to concede again. Briggs. Here's Batrim. Orford. Fearon. The touch actually worked quite well. Preston Fearon working his way into the box. Tries to lay it off for Josh Landers. A shout from the West Ham fans off to our right. The North Bank not impressed. And I think it might have been more of a trip than anything else. He didn't really protest anything too much either. Preston Fearon there. Throw for West Ham. Colin Beckers takes it. Landers is the intended target. It's headed back out of play. Another throw for West Ham, just gaining a few yards. Here is Aridas Golenbekas, 18-year-old. Lovely long throw into the box, and Kurd gets there. And look at Clayton coming charging in. A lovely little bit of skill there by Tom White. Boreham Wood just holding the ball. A bit of experience coming through in moments like that. Booty, Brunt, back to Booty. Booty doesn't need too many questions to ask about him, and the ball comes in. Again, rushed the intended target, but Herrick read that one well. Of course, Finlay Herrick, the huge advantage of having trained and played with these Boreham Wood players, and it's a miss by Reynolds. It's Josh Landers working his way through. Josh Landers, and it's 2-0 to West Ham United. Well, it's another error at the back, and Josh Landers gets through on goal and calmly slots it into the bottom right-hand corner, and the Hammers double their lead here at Meadow Park. Simply sensational from the Scotsman. It's his 9th goal in all competitions, his first in the National League Cup, and what a time to get it. Josh Landers makes it 2-0 to West Ham here in the final of the 2025-26 National League Cup. And the West Ham fans off to my right have come alive. They're in fine voice. Over 1,200 of them packed in the away end here, and they are loving what they're seeing right now. There is work to do for Boreham Wood. That mountain has just got a little bit steeper to climb, but it's not over. Still a long way to go. What we do know is Boreham Wood 0, West Ham 2. I must admit, I didn't see from the fourth official what the call is for added time here at the end. 2 goals. We did have Akpata down on the ground for a while, so I would expect there to be at least 2 or 3 minutes added on here at the end of this first half. Maybe an opportunity for Boreham Wood if they can get hold of the ball. White, here's Fearon though. Here's Ajala. It's Josh Ajala going toe-to-toe with Illisamni. Does really well to knock it back to Kurd, who no nonsense clears it up high into the night sky here in South Hertfordshire. White and Clayton and Richardson going toe-to-toe, and it is a throw for Boreham Wood. It's a free kick for dragging Richardson back. Here's Reynolds. He'll be frustrated with himself. He's normally Mr. Dependable for Boreham Wood. He's been such an important part of Boreham Wood's rise up the National League table this season. Only promoted from the National League South last season, Boreham Wood, from the 6th tier of English football into the 5th. Bouncing back immediately after relegation the season before, and it was at the end of that season that Luke Garrett actually stepped down from Boreham Wood. But he came back in quickly into the fold to guide the club to promotion. And it could be back-to-back promotions for Boreham Wood. Still a lot to look forward to this season, and a big 45 minutes coming up for Boreham Wood in the second half. White pushing it through to Illisamni. 2-0 down is not where Luke Garrett wants to be, but it's not insurmountable. We've seen some brilliant games here at Meadow Park. Here's Abdul Malik now. Booty trying to get it into the path of White. He goes down under the challenge, and it's a free kick. Oyabadi conceding it, a dangerous position. This is likely to be the last opportunity of the half. Well, there's only one person who's going to take this, and it is Regan Booty. He puts the ball down. He'd probably actually prefer it was about 5 yards further out. But Finlay Herrick is going to have to set his wall here. Well, this could be a huge moment in this final. Can Boreham Wood halve the deficit here? Regan Booty stood over it. Zach Brunt is also with him as well. And look where Abdul Malik is, just to the inside the D on the left side. It is going to be Regan Booty, drills it in low, he's going to have another go, and it's gone high and into the visiting support, and that is the half-time whistle. Josh Landers and Lewis Orford making it a dream 45 minutes for West Ham United here. So quick, let me give you those quiz question answers as well. There are 15 teams in England's top 5 divisions that have Ham in their name. Who are they? Of course, Boreham Wood and West Ham are 2 of them. There's Fulham, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wrexham, Southampton, Birmingham, Rotherham, Northampton, Oldham, Gillingham, Altrincham and Cheltenham, if you got those well done. Well, it's been an eventful opening 45 minutes here, but so far it's a dream for West Ham. Right now they are forever blowing bubbles, but there's a second half to come and Boreham Wood are still well in this. So I'm going to go get myself a nice cup of tea. At half time it's Boreham Wood 0, West Ham United 2, and whilst I go, let's have a look at how these two sides reached the final of the 2025-26 National League Cup.
He's got the goal scorer off the support. He whips the ball in, and that's a fantastic goal from Boreham Wood. Really good play on the right hand side from Boreham Wood. It's really good play on the right hand side from Boreham Wood. That's a fantastic goal.
Dan's will put down the top of the group. And here's Benson trying to do that now with a shot! Oh my word, what a goal!
Cool. Here's Booty now for Boreham. We're trying to flip one through into the centre. It's Richardson. It's into the back of the net, and surely that is job done for Boreham Wood. Make it through to the quarter-final. West Ham are the only academy side through. They're currently 1-0. It comes into the box. It's in the back of the net, and that is for West Ham United under 21. They're going to be in the final of the National League Cup. Is it going to be Boreham Wood? If this goes in, then surely it is. And Boreham Wood are in the final of the National League Cup.
Kante, that's a nice pass through to Robinson, pulls it across, and there it is in the 90th minute.
Well, here West Ham have won it back with Backstrom. He's got Landers and Adile with him. Here is Adile. West Ham surging forward. Adile shoots. Lovely. Well, if Mo Dabre misses this, it's all over. Mo Dabre, and it's saved. And that is that.
Breaks on here for West Ham. They're striding up over halfway of the Hammers. Kante's gone past the ball. Still going West Ham. Still going with Earthy. Earthy with the effort. What a goal!
West Ham will be through to the quarter-finals. It's Earthy on the edge of the box. George Earthy. Can he get his shot away? He can, and Earthy makes it 4 for West Ham United.
To the left-hand side, and Adeli running into towards the penalty area now. He drills it across. Great ball to start with, and then it's a drilled-in cross.
So it's a chance here for the Hammers, and they've scored! Thunderous strike towards the bottom right-hand side of the goal.
He's got the goal scorer up to support. He rips the ball in, and that's a fantastic goal from Boreham Wood. Really good play on the right hand side from Boreham Wood. It's really good play on the right hand side from Boreham Wood. That's a fantastic goal.
Dan's will put it at the top of the group. And here's Benson trying to do that now with a shot! Oh my word, what a goal!
Here's Booty now for Boreham. We're trying to flip one through into the centre. It's Richardson. It's into the back of the net, and surely that is job done for Boreham Wood. Make it through to the quarter-final. West Ham are the only academy side through. They're currently 1-0. It comes into the box. It's in the back of the net, and that is for West Ham United U21. They're going to be in the final of the National League Cup. Is it going to be Boreham Wood? If this goes in, then surely it is. And Boreham Wood are in the final of the National League Cup.
Kante. That's a nice pass. Through to Robinson. Pulls it across. And there it is! In the 90th minute.
Well, here West Ham have won it back with Backstrom. He's got Landers and Adila with him. Here is Adila. West Ham surging forward. Adila shoots! Lovely. Well, if Mo Dabre misses this, it's all over. Mo Dabre, and it's saved. And that is that.
Breaks on here for West Ham. They're striding up over halfway of the Hammers. Kante's gone past the ball. Still going West Ham. Still going with Earthy. Earthy with the effort. What a goal!
West Ham will be through to the quarter-finals. It's Earthy on the edge of the box. George Earthy. Can he get his shot away? He can, and Earthy makes it 4 for West Ham United.
To the left-hand side, and Adeli running into towards the penalty area. Now he drills it across. Great ball to start with, and then it's a drilled in cross.
So it's a chance here for the Hammers, and they've scored! Thunderous strike towards the bottom right-hand side of the goal.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half, not too far away from getting back underway here. And I've got a few scores from the rest of the Enterprise National League tonight, which may end up having an impact for Boreham Wood this season. They're still in the early stages, but Bratley 0, Solihull 0. It's Gateshead 0, Wealdstone 0. They've had a fantastic run of results recently after Stones. Southend 1, Rochdale 0. That is quite actually important for Boreham Wood. It's Southend who one place outside the playoffs. Truro 0, Scunthorpe United 1. Scunthorpe inside the playoffs, of course, and Woking 0, Yeovil 0. Here, though, at the Mangata Development Stadium, Meadow Park at the break, it's Boreham Wood 0, West Ham United under-21s 2. Lewis Orford in the 26th minute and Josh Landers in the 45th. The difference between the two sides right now. Now, I have seen Cameron Cox and Leon Ayinde warming up at the break as if they are about to come on. In fact, they are. So Luke Gerrard is going to change things up for Boreham Wood right at the start of the second half. Cameron Cox and Leon Ayinde are going to come on here. I think it's Callum Reynolds who's going to be coming off. And I think possibly Lewis Richardson. Let me just see. Looking out. Yes, so I think it is going to be Richardson off as well. I hadn't seen him come back on. So confirmation, Cameron Cox comes on, the Welshman, 27-year-old, has been capped by Wales at under-21 level himself. And we're going to see a change as well. Jethro Medine is going to come on. It's Richardson who's gone off. So Richardson is off, Ayinde is on, and Jethro Medine is going to come on for West Ham. Just see who it is who's come off. And it is Tyrone Akpata. Now, we did see Akpata go down in that first half. Looked like he'd taken a knock, so it looks like he's come off more, hopefully just as a precaution, really. But Jethro Medine has come on. Jethro Medine's been a regular starter this season for West Ham under-21s. The 19-year-old. His younger brother, Jetta, plays for the under-18s, but Jethro has been capped by England at under-17s. So again, was part of that 2023 under-18s FA Youth Cup winning squad and under-18 Premier South squad signed pro terms of West Ham in January 2025. As I said, Cameron Cox, he's now on the pitch. Joined Boreham Wood from Colchester in 2022. And Leon Ayinde, 21-year-old youngster on loan at Boreham Wood from Ipswich at the minute. Has represented the Republic of Ireland at under-21s. Had a loan spell at Rochdale last season. Work to do then in this second half for Boreham Wood, looking for a fast start, but it's Regan Clayton who's picked it up against Cameron Cox, who's just come onto the field. Well, a big thank you to all of you for joining us tonight here under the lights at Meadow Park for the National League Cup final. There's the goal scorer, Josh Landers, the number 9 for West Ham, calmly slotting the ball past Ted Curd between the sticks for Boreham Wood. And it was Lewis Orford in the 26th minute, just 60 seconds before Matt Rushden had the ball in the back of the net for Boreham Wood, but it just strayed offside, so it didn't count. Ryan Batcham showing a little bit of skill over on that far side to try and work the ball through, but Ayinde taking it down. Ryan Batcham has very quickly been turning into a bit of a star for West Ham under-21s, the 20-year-old. 2 goals in the National League Cup, 4 goals in all competitions. Top scoring defender for West Ham under-21s this season. Made 19 appearances for the under-21s last season. Ball comes up high, almost into our commentary position here. Well, the drummers in the North Bank off to our left to try and G up the Boreham Wood players. Only takes a goal, only takes a moment, doesn't it? That rush did have the ball in the back of the net, but it just strayed offside, so it did not count. Chris Bush gets up high. Medine trying to bring it down. Booty just getting a little bit disorientated down there. Now the ball comes in and Bush hooks it away. Out for a throw for West Ham. Right in front of the vast travelling support. A sellout in the away end tonight. In comes a shot. Oh, it's whipped over. Again, Orford. What a dangerous player. Whips it over. It did have Ted Curd a little bit worried. And again, West Ham started this. They did the first really with a venomous shot. Blazed over the bar. Here's Ayinda now. What can he do to man online? Lovely ball through to Zach Brunt. Zach Brunt trying to push it on to Matt Rush, but it was read well by Regan Clayton. Oyabadi picks it up, pushes it to Landers, who's trying to set Ajala off away, but Butch hooks it back into the West Ham half. Booty now. Here's Ilisandi. Zach Brunt. Oh, it's a lovely ball. Here's Abdul Malik into the box. Abdul Malik! And the North Bank go absolutely wild. At the start of the second half, Boreham Wood half the deficit. And it's that man, Abdul Malik. Well, if there's a Boreham Wood player who deserves to be on the score sheet tonight, it's him. And suddenly, it's game on again. But the North Bank have gone absolutely wild. They believe. And Abdul Malik, who else? He's got 11 league goals to his name this season, and Herrick forced to come off his line quickly. Medina's shielding the ball with his body, and suddenly the pendulum of momentum has shifted to the men in white shirts. Well, this has to be settled tonight. It's the final. 32 teams started, just 2 remain. West Ham, the only academy side to make it through to the latter stages of this competition. From the group stages, it was 7 National League clubs and just 1 academy team. That 1 academy team, West Ham, they've represented academy football very well indeed. Still in the hot seat here. Very well cut out by Colin Beckis. He's Orford. Scored one tonight, almost got a second at the start of this second half. Colin Beckis trying to link up with Orford. He puts it out of play, and it's a throw for Boreham Wood just inside their own half. Well, this game has suddenly come alive. For the neutral, it's exactly what it needed. And I have to say I've got a foot in both camps. The 2 teams that personally I've covered the most this season meeting in a final. What are the odds? And what an honour and privilege to be able to commentate on this game tonight. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. It really means a lot. West Ham fans, thank you for supporting the Young Hammers. Boreham Wood fans, as ever, your support means so much. Here's Josh Ajala over on the far side going toe-to-toe with Cox. He just runs the ball out of play, and it's a goal kick. Ted Curd grabs it quickly. But if we do get a break in play, I've got a little game for us all to play here if we get a chance. Of course, we're in Boreham Wood, the home of the famous L Street TV and film studios. Are literally a 5-minute walk outside of the away end here. A number of very famous films have been made literally within a stone's throw of this stadium. So we're going to play a game of Guess the Film when we get a moment. Here's Chris Bush. If things settle down, which let's hope we don't actually get to play it, because that means we're in for a fast, ferocious second half. Abdul Malik now. Abdul Malik to Booty. It was Preston Fearon trying to charge through. Zach Brunt trying to play it over the top. There's too much on it, and Herrick saw that one coming. Regan Clayton, a lovely ball forward to Landers, just onto the back heel there of Ajala, who can't get it under control, and through it goes to Ted Curd. Briggs, the commanding header. Here is Abdul Malik. Booty, Zach Brunt, rushing space on this left side. Here is Matt Rush. Back through to Abdul Malik, the real threat, the real danger man. Abdul Malik trying to work it through and does well to Matt Rush. There's space for Booty if he can get it. Shouts of shoot. O'Connell though gives it to Cox over on the far side. Here is Ayinde. Nice turn from Leon Ayinde. Gets the shot away, but Herrick makes the save, gets down low quickly. Our 21st goal of the National League Cup campaign for Boreham Wood, that one. West Ham have 20 to their name. No clean sheet for either side tonight in this one. But who cares? It's a final. Doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is getting over the line. One of these two sides will do just that tonight. It's a throw now for West Ham inside the Boreham Wood half. Forward it goes. Josh Landers was just swamped by a cluster of white shirts, but Ajala managed to come away with it. Here's Golan Beckett. Orford now. Ajala back to Fearon. Clayton in space on this left side, receives it, and goes straight over to him. And now suddenly all the energy is coming from Boreham Wood. West Ham doing well to just keep possession and maybe just start to slow play down, kill a bit of that Boreham Wood momentum right now. Josh Landers trying to win it back. Here's Zach Brunt. Oh, it's a brilliant touch by Clayton. Matt Rush trying to feed it onto Ayinde, but straight into the path of Oyabadi. Here's Oyabadi, another go at it, and Orford now picks it up. Calm figure of Lewis Orford. Ryan Battram now to Medine. Tried to set Ajala off on his way, but Chris Bush reacted first. Ayinde wanted that flicked on from Matt Rush. I'm not so sure Rush saw him. Matt Rush is a real goal machine. Has scored tonight, but it was chalked off for being offside. He's got 22 league goals to his name this season. Look at Ayinde, he's made such a difference. And now it's Matt Rush trying to charge. The ball gets a little bit tangled. He's going to have another go. It falls to White. Now it's Abdul Malik, and it's a great save by Herrick to palm it away. Oh, I just can't help but think the opportunity might have been there for Tom White to load up instead. It was a fine effort from Abdul Malik and quick reactionary save from that man Finlay Herrick. Let's hope he's okay. He's just stretching a bit. He still looks in a little bit of pain, does Finlay Herrick. They do have Finlay Hooper on the bench if required. Finlay Hooper's played a few games for the under-21s this season, big part of the West Ham under-18s in their under-18 Premier South campaign. Booty takes it to O'Connell, and now here's Cox on the right side. Ted Kurd. That's Medine who wins the header into the path now of Femi Alasamni. Back it goes to Booty, and here is Abdul Malik now. Abdul Malik. The energy of Leon Ayinde is really rubbing off on this Boreham Wood team in this second half. Oh, and I think Matt Rush intended to leave it for Cameron Cox, but the ball's hoofed over and into the car park behind the memorial stand there. Oh, well, this is a dream second half we're witnessing right now, full of vigour and fight. There's no tomorrow in this season's National League Cup. It's tonight or never. Abdul Malik up against Golan Beckett, trying to feed it through to Zach Brunt. Orford gets the touch to take it away, and into the path of Chris Bush, who calmly slots it to Charlie O'Connell. Here is Bush now, the 33-year-old former AFC Wimbledon and Lincoln City, Chelmsford, Ebbsfleet man. Josh Landers taken down by O'Connell. Referee says no. Says he went down a little bit too easy, and we continue with Tom White. Started his career at Gateshead. As I said, Tom White back from a lengthy spell on the sidelines, but Boreham Wood are better for having him in the team. And Abdul Malik, there's a cross-comb shot there, but it goes out of play and it's a goal kick. Well, whilst we wait for this to be taken, let's do our first Guess the Movie. The reason we're doing that, of course, we're in Boreham Wood, the famous Elstree TV and film studios. I can literally see from where I am right now. You can see the sign lit up off to my right. You can walk here from about 5 minutes time. So we're going to play a little game of Guess the Movie. The first movie is a horror film. It was released on the 2nd of October 1980. Do you know what it is yet? Shout them out if you do. The producer was Stanley Kubrick. This might give it away now. And it starred Jack Nicholson. Who can tell me what it was? My brilliant cameraman to my right has just whispered the answer, and he looks very smug with himself, but I'm going to let everybody in a little secret. I told him what the answer was earlier. So, Zolly, come on. Boreham Wood hook the ball away. The plot was Jack Nicholson played Jack Torrance, who was a caretaker at the Overlook Hotel. The film was, of course, released in 1980, produced by Stanley Kubrick, starring Jack Nicholson, filmed at the Elstree Film Studios just off to our right here in Boreham Wood, was The Shining. Well done if you knew that one. Got a few more coming up throughout the course of this second half. Josh Ajala, though, picks up the ball. Clayton goes back to Oyabadi. Fearon. Here's Oyabadi again, trying to push the ball forward. It's a delicious ball to Josh Landers, who gets the shot away. Did it take a touch? He just mishit it, Josh Landers. And Boreham Wood survived that attack. Well, he scored one already tonight. Here's Lewis Orford. He scored again as well tonight. Medine pushing the ball through to Batchram. And on his left foot, can't get it under control and blazes it high and over. Ryan Batchram scored in the 3-1 away win at Leeds United 3 games ago in Premier League 2. Josh Landers, who scored tonight, he got a brace against Derby County, although it was in a 4-2 defeat away at Derby. A disappointing evening that was for West Ham under-21s against rock bottom Premier League 2 side Derby. I was actually on commentary for that game that night as well. Here's Zach Brunt now charging forward for Boreham Wood. Ayunde's in a bit of space on the right side. The ball's with him now, drills it in low into the box, but Ryan Oyabadi's there first. The number 3 for the Hammers. Captained West Ham under-18s in the Premier League Cup success last season, beating Reading in that final 2-1 at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. Corner though for Boreham Wood right in front of the North Bank. This will send it absolutely wild again. Rush is laid back and it's Fearon charging out, gets there first. Preston Fearon is going to have to go this alone at the minute. Although Colin Beckis, the speed at which he raced out of the box, you might not have seen it on the camera, but Aradas Colin Beckis, Zach Brunt goes into the book. Aradas Colin Beckis came out like a 100-metre sprinter to try and support his fellow teammate. As it is, it came to nothing in the end, but they do have a free kick, and Zach Brunt's name is in the book. Oyabadi to take the free kick for West Ham. Hammers still leading by 2-1, but Abdul Malik halving the deficit at the start of this second half. Briggs in a bit of a foot race with Rush. It's a difficult ball for Herrick to manage, but he deals with it so well. It's off the back of Ayinde, hooked high into the sky, almost dead vertically there. And now out of play for a Boreham Wood throw on the far side, right in front of the memorial stand. That's where all the directors sit. Big thank you to Boreham Wood. Danny Hunter, the chairman, deserves a special mention as well for ensuring that Boreham Wood season ticket holders and West Ham United season ticket holders got in for free tonight. Brilliant stuff. Big thank you to Boreham Wood. Here's Femi Lassamni now. Booty. Colin Beckis, he's such an athlete, isn't he? He really is. It's pushed out to Brunt. Here's Abdul Malik now. Abdul Malik's trying to load up and have a great challenge by Jethro Medine to take the ball away. And now Fearon charging forward. He's got Ajala ahead of him. He's got Batcham in the heart of midfield. Landers is up top as well. And suddenly Medine's in acres of space on this right-hand side. The ball finds Jethro Medine. Medine now up against Booty. Medine works his way into the box and wins the corner. Right in front of the West Ham supporters. These sold out away end tonight. What a brilliant atmosphere inside the Mangata Development Stadium this evening. One of the best for this National League Cup final. A huge occasion. Who will have their name etched on the trophy at the end of the night and join Leeds United. Leeds beating Sutton in last season's final. Will it be another academy side, or will it be a first win for a National League club? Orford hooks the ball back into the danger zone. Chris Bush heads it away. Clayton gets a touch on it. White hooks it to Brunt. Now Brunt going for it. And guess who wants it again? Abdul Malik wants it again on his left side. It's fed through beautifully to Abdul Malik, but the assistant's flag has gone up, so if he had managed to convert it, it wouldn't have counted. And Abdul Malik helps Clayton back to his feet. Oh, Greg Lincoln, I can see beneath my position the manager for West Ham under-21s doing a fine job in charge. He is the head of coaching and player development at West Ham. Spent 4 years with the FA. He's in charge of coaching under England under-16s and under-17s. Also had spells in the coaching ranks at Arsenal and Tottenham before the FA. Ball's gone straight out of play. Briggs heads it on. He's been called into a bit more work in this second half. Orford picks it up now though. Here is Medine. Still a steep mountain for Boreham Wood to climb. Could get steeper if West Ham can find a third here. He's been picked up by Inde. He's made such a difference since coming on as well. The energy the man on loan from Ipswich has shown for Boreham Wood has been brilliant. Daddy. Now it's Rush feeding it on to Ayinde, but again the offside flag has gone up. Well, you sense Boreham Wood are going to get the better of this at some point tonight. Well, everybody, what have you made of tonight's game so far? Thank you to all of you for tuning in. And if you're celebrating, happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well. And if you do want to get in contact with me at any point, you can. Just head over to X at Ian Waterhouse1 or Instagram Ian.Waterhouse2. I'd love to hear from you tonight. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you've got any of the quiz question answers right as the ball whips out of play for a throw, why don't we do another movie quiz for you, shall we? So how about this one? This film, it's a bit of a historical drama. It was released in January 2011. The reason we're doing this, these films were filmed at the L Street Studios here in Boreham Wood, literally a 5-minute walk from this very spot here at Meadow Park. This film was released in 2011. Director was Tom Hooper. Starred Colin Firth, Geoffrey Rush, Helena Bonham Carter and Guy Pearce. If you know it, shout it out or let me know on social. Here's Abdul Malik again into the box. Abdul Malik, look at Zach Brunt charging forward. Abdul Malik, it hits the crossbar. Ian Day might have another opportunity, and finally West Ham managed to clear it away. The heart-in-mouth moment there for West Ham. The nails are being bitten in the director's box here at Meadow Park. Here's Cox, Cameron Cox. It did take a deflection. Well, I said at the very start of tonight, the American poet Emily Dixon once wrote, "Luck is not chance, it's toil. Fortune's expensive smile is earned." And Abdul Malik almost earned Boreham Wood an equaliser there, but luck just went ever so slightly against them. Another look at it now. In fact, I think Herrick might have even got a fingertip onto that to put it onto the bar. If so, absolutely world class. Although Finlay Herrick, he is limping quite a bit now. We saw him about 5-10 minutes or so ago looking hurt, and I'm seeing him moving about, and he is limping a little bit. West Ham do have Finlay Hooper on the bench if needed tonight. Boreham Wood have no second goalkeeper. It's how Luke Gerrard likes to just run his team. They never have two keepers on the bench. Nathan Ashmore, who's been a regular here at Boreham Wood over the last 4 or 5 years, he's currently on loan at Bedford Town. So once Finlay Herrick left, he did spend 11 games here, Finlay Herrick, on loan at Boreham Wood, kept 6 clean sheets. He left. Ashmore came back from his loan spell at Bedford Town, and then he went back to Bedford on loan because Ted Curd came in from Chelsea. And he's been a regular for the Wood ever since, although there was a brief spell where, again, Ashmore came back for a second time. Here's Ajala into the box. Josh Ajala gets a shot away. It comes off Connell, and it's out for a corner. All right, I better give you that answer, hadn't I, before I completely forget about it. Guess the film. Released in January 2011, director Tom Hooper, starred Colin Firth, Geoffrey Rush, Helena Bonham Carter, Guy Pearce, and Colin Firth played King George VI. It was, of course, the King's Speech. And the reason that's relevant is because it was filmed over the road from our position here at the L Street Studios in Boreham Wood. Chris Bush rises higher than anybody else and gets it away. Brunt into the path of Booty, trying to feed it through to Abdul Malik, but Clayton gets there first. Now it's with Ryan Batcham, he's got space. Ryan Batcham, we know he can hit it. He gives it over to Orford, but it's a little bit of a heavy touch. Might have even been a slight miscommunication between Orford, Ajala and Batcham, and suddenly the sting of momentum's just taken away, and Clayton puts it out of play. Missed opportunity there for West Ham. Zach Brunt now has the ball for the throw. Rush. Brunt again. There's more in this. You just sense it with less than 20 to go with the 90. Remember, it has to be settled tonight. Boreham Wood can find a leveller and it stays that way. We will go to a penalty shootout to settle the National League Cup. Here's Bush. Brunt The West Ham fans off to my right singing the iconic I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles now. Oh, it falls to Booty. Oh, it's just dragged wide by Cameron Cox. We all held our breath for a moment inside Meadow Park, and Cox blazes it wide. A huge, huge opportunity for Boreham Wood goes to waste. And the North Bank, though, start screaming Wood Army. This is far from over tonight. Herrick launches the ball into the night sky, the South Hertfordshire night sky, over the floodlights. Batcham goes down under the challenge. Well, it certainly is a bit of a party atmosphere here tonight inside Meadow Park, one of the best atmospheres I've seen here this season. It's been some big attendances, though, throughout the course of the campaign. As I said, I have the great pleasure of spending most Saturday afternoons and Tuesday nights up on this gantry covering Boreham Wood. It's Batcham, he gets the header, it hits the crossbar. Ted Curd almost looked like he hesitated ever so slightly there. I think he was more confident it was going to go over, but then it hit the crossbar, and suddenly, again, the heart rate just leaps up once again. Cox into the path of Ayinde, who's made a real difference since coming on for Boreham Wood. He's been a brilliant star of the show. Alford goes over, and Ayinde goes down, and he's been booked for diving here, it looks like. So Ayinde finds his name in the book. He joins Zach Brunt. And we've got a change. Aaron Henry is coming on. Regan Booty is going off for Boreham Wood. So Aaron Henry comes on. Well, he's got a strike on him as well. Spent a bit of time on loan this season at National League South High Flyers Hornchurch. Regan Booty going off, something of a surprise. He's a player who can create a little bit of magic from nothing. Let's hope he is okay. Aaron Henry, 22-year-old, had his youth at Charlton Athletic. Ted Curd launches the ball high into the path of Cameron Cox. He's been at Boreham Wood since 2024 when he left Charlton. Is that Cameron Cox, who's gone down on a quite heavily there over on the far side. Let's hope he's okay. Doesn't look like the physio's been called on just yet, so pleased to say Cameron Cox is back on his feet. Just looked like he landed a bit awkwardly there. I think it was more the initial shock of going down. He's back on his feet, Cameron Cox, and we will continue. Referee will drop the ball. Preston Fearon will launch it again into the night sky. O'Connell wins the head. Initially, here's Ilisamni. Brunt. Golan Beckis puts it out of play. And Cameron Cox will take the ball for the throw for Boreham Wood in front of the memorial stand inside his own half. Back it goes to Charlie O'Connell, the former West Ham youth player himself. Chris Bush now. He's trying to set Abdul Malik. Boreham Wood have clearly identified Abdul Malik is the man tonight. And Medine gets the block in, but it is a corner in front of the North Bank. Well, I've seen Boreham Wood score a few corners as well. They've done this routine where Zach Brunt has come short, but it's Brunt who's going to take this one. He'll play it short to Abdul Malik, and then Abdul Malik will lay it back off to Zach Brunt. I've seen that a few times this season. The referee is not happy with something he's seen in the box. It's Chris Bush and I think Regan Clayton he's having a chat to. Referee tonight is Elliot Swallow, assisted by Marcus Carmichael and Coleman O'Meara. Fourth official is Lewis Sando, and again Chris Bush and I think it's Clayton They're going to need speaking to once again by the referee. Quite a height difference between the two there. And now the referee has pulled Chris Bush over. It is Regan Clayton, yes. So he's going to have another chat with them. I just wonder... Abdul Malik has come into the box here, so there's going to be no short corner, it doesn't look like. Zach Brunt is going to try and maybe dump this one on the penalty spot if he can. And again, Bush and Clayton are having a real wrestling match. And Bush throws Clayton to the ground, and it's a free kick for West Ham. And Regan Clayton receives a round of boos from the North Bank. But a round of high fives from his teammates. Very savvy play from Clayton, the youngster. He's been at West Ham since he was just 10 years old, Regan Clayton. Has some experience at this level, though, after having a loan spell at Dagenham and Redbridge. And he's also, like Orford, had a bit of experience with the senior side. Made it onto the bench for a couple of games in West Ham's run in the Europa Conference League a few seasons ago. And now Matt Rush chasing after this against Briggs. Briggs gets the back of his heel onto it to take it away, and Oyabadi pumps it forward but out of play. Kurd goes over to O'Connell. We've got 11 minutes of the 90 to go here. Here's Brunt, Zach Brunt again. Abdul Malik in acres of space on this left side. It's exactly what he loves to do. Abdul Malik, and he's tried to feed it over to Cameron Cox, but he got a vital touch, I think, by either Batcham or Clayton. And now Ajala picks it up, runs into his opposite number. Long ball over to Zach Brunt, who gets a touch onto it, but Medine should shield the ball. And Golan Beckus lumps it forward into the path of Josh Landers, who takes it down and somehow manages to hold on to it. He does really well there, Josh Landers. And Orford now charging forward. Number of half-times from other games in the Enterprise National League, which may have an impact on Boreham Wood's league campaign this season. So Boreham Wood fans, if you're interested, half-time it's Brackley 0, Solihull Moors 0. Medine gets the ball into the box, and Jala trying to get up high. Here's Clayton over on the far side. Danger not quite cleared yet. Back to Fearon. Preston Fearon loads up, and Kurd makes the save. Well, it's Brackley 0, Solihull Moors 0 at half-time. These are all half-times. Gateshead 1, Wealdstone 0, Southend United 3, Rochdale 1. Rochdale, the league leaders. That could be a huge result for York City, who are not playing tonight. As Truro 1, Scunthorpe United 2, and Woking 1, Yeovil 0. Their scores in the Enterprise National League tonight. Of course, Boreham Wood currently started today 4th in the table. Their next game in the National League this Saturday for Boreham Wood here at Meadow Park against Gateshead. West Ham under-21s next in action. Quick turnaround there in action on Friday away at Blackburn Rovers. Here's Abdul Malik into the box. Colin Beckus this time gets the block, and it's another corner in front of the North Bank. Abdul Malik plays it quickly to Zach Brunt, former Barnet man. Zach Brunt, he had trials at Atletico Madrid and Villarreal, also part of the youth setup at Manchester City, Manchester United, Aston Villa, and really kicked on his career at Sheffield United. Well, we're going to have a change here. And it is going to be, I think it's going to be Gabriel Caliste is going to come on. It is, yes. So Gabriel Caliste is going to come on for West Ham United. He's a full Mauritius international, is Caliste. Scored 2 goals in all competitions this season. Made his debut for Mauritius in a 0-0 draw against India in 2024. Signed his first pro contract with West Ham in 2025. And it's going to be a change for Boreham Wood as well. I can tell you Joe Newton is about to come on for the Wood. So it's Fearon who's going off for West Ham. Preston Fearon. He's been kept fairly quiet tonight, which is not like him. But he'll still be pleased with his evening's work. He goes off the pitch with his side leading by 2-1. And it's Femi Ilasamni who makes way for Joe Newton for Boreham Wood. So Newton is on, Ilasamni is off for Boreham Wood. And for West Ham United, it's Gabriel Caliste on and Preston Fearon off. Well, Joe Newton joined Boreham Wood from Solihull Moors back in July. Also had a spell at Havant Waterlooville. He's actually started his career at Royston Town, and that earned him a move into the youth ranks, the under-21 ranks with Coventry City. He's been here though at Boreham Wood since last summer. Colin Beckis calmly chests the ball down. He's had a brilliant game, the number 5 for West Ham tonight. Cox though gets up and wins the head. Time is starting to run out here for Boreham Wood. We've got just over 5 minutes of the 90 to go. Can Boreham Wood find that all-important equaliser to take us to a penalty shootout? Or will West Ham United be the second academy side to lift the National League Cup after Leeds beat Sutton in last season's final? Orford. Bush heads it away. Brunt. The jeopardy is all on Boreham Wood at the minute. You sense if West Ham can find a third, that will surely be game, set and match with time running out. Orford trying to feed it through to Caliste, but Chris Bush gets there. Chris Bush, 33 years of age. Gabriel Caliste, 19. Both sides want this silverware. I know it's a competition Luke Gerrard has been so desperate to win. Whatever happens, Boreham Wood are more than likely to make the National League playoffs this season. It still could end in the ultimate high of promotion. Boreham Wood have never played in the Football League in their history. Founded in 1948, Boreham Wood as a merger between Boreham Wood Rovers and Royal Retornes. The best they've ever done is finish 4th in the 2017-18 National League season. Could this be the year? It's a small matter of the next 5 minutes here though. It could still end in silverware tonight, but they need to get an equaliser and they need to get it quickly. Here's Bush. It's Newton. Ricochets it off the shin pad there of Ryan Batchram, who trots back to take a defensive position for this corner here. Abdul Malik leaves it for Aaron Henry. Aaron Henry's the main dead ball specialist now that Regan Booty has left the field of play. It's a good delivery. Herrick gets something on it. Bush hooks it back in, and Herrick gratefully takes the ball. And Matt Rush just gives him a slight nudge just to let him know he's there. Up it goes. Newton. Caliste chasing after it. Kurd can't pick it up. Deals with it really well. And here's Aaron Henry. White. Here's Henry now. Cox is in a bit of space over on the right side. If they can find a way getting the ball to him, it's fed through to Zach Brunt. It's Leon Ayinde. What a save again by Herrick. Well, how crucial could that be? Once again, Finlay Herrick has been an absolute wall in that West Ham goal. And it is another change. Josh Landers is coming off and Dan Cummings is coming on now to see out this game. It's one Scottish forward for another. Dan Cummings, a 19-year-old, 3 goals in all competitions this season. Joined from Celtic in the summer. Actually won the Scottish Youth Cup with Celtic in 2023. Scored in the final. And the final against who else but Rangers. Actually scored 29 in 37 appearances for Celtic B last season. Golubakis, Bush, Henry, time almost up, and I was thinking might have been slightly dragged back there, and free kick given quickly. Here's Cameron Cox now. Oh, that might have been the moment for Boreham Wood. Ayinde, who's really made a lot of difference for Boreham Wood in this second half since coming on at the break. He really has been full of energy and vigour, and deserves something really from this. That's just the likes of Abdul Malik and Zach Brunt. However, if it stays like this, it will be a West Ham United win. But there's a corner now in front of the North Bank for Boreham Wood. Time almost up here. Zach Brunt heads on over. There's going to be an almighty roar from my right side if it stays this way. West Ham making a relatively short trip around the M25. Brilliant support. The ball comes in. What's the ref going to do? It's another corner. I think it was Josh Briggs there who got the vital touch on it. Yes, it was. Drilled in low this time. White leaves it for Henry, who fires it into the North Bank. Oh, he just had a little bit of height on him. Probably would have preferred it if it had stayed dead on the ground. And it's going to be another change. Eriko Souza is coming on. And going off is Tom White. So Souza is on. He spent a bit of time on the sidelines recently as Eriko Souza. He's been capped by Portugal at under 19 level. He's a 31-year-old, had his youth at Manchester City. Actually played for FC Celje in Slovenia. Joined Boreham Wood from Grimsby Town in 2022. Just hear it, I think it's going to be 4 minutes. I think that was the call. 4 minutes added on here. Here's Souza. Eriko Souza. The Boreham Wood fans are still singing off to my right. The West Ham fans are in fine voice off to my right. And here's Orford. Lewis Orford. A goal here will surely seal it. Oh, and he's taken too much of a heavy touch. Straight into the path of Golubakis though, who's surely up there for player of the match. Let me know who's your player of the match tonight as well, everybody. Let me know on social media, on X or Instagram, at IanWaterhouse1 or Ian.Waterhouse2. Let me know. I think Aradas Golubakis, the number 5 for West Ham, has got to be in with a shout. Abdul Malik as well. It's a shame Leon Ende hasn't played the entire game for Boreham Wood, because he's had a brilliant impact in this second half, but it might be for nothing. I'm forever blowing bubbles has been sung again off to my right. Time almost up here. West Ham could be about to lift the National League Cup, but there's still time for Boreham Wood to create something maybe. Abdul Malik over to Zach Brunt on this left side. It's still Zach Brunt through to Newton. Newton whips a low ball into the box corner for Boreham Wood. Got to make this count. The North Bank expects Souza. Abdul Malik. Here's Aaron Henry. It's Aaron Henry, loads up. Aaron Henry! Oh, it's spilled through Herrick and it's gone into the back of the net. And it's stoppage time. Boreham Wood have levelled it up. Well, I do not believe it. Finlay Herrick has been absolutely rock solid for West Ham. But it just spilled through his legs. A thunderbolt from Aaron Henry. It felt like they were just trying to set Henry up for that. I've seen him do it before and he's done it tonight. It reminded me of the 2003 Rugby World Cup final when England were just desperate to set Johnny Wilkinson up. And it paid dividends then, and it may have just paid dividends tonight. Unbelievable. This is why we love sport, isn't it? It's why we love football, because anything can happen. And it so often does. It's the magic. It doesn't matter what competition it is, whether it's the FA Cup, the League Cup, the National League Cup, the EFL Trophy. Who cares? It's football, and it's at its very best when it's moments like this. I get a bit emotional because it's two sides very important to me. I don't really want to see either lose, but someone's going to have to. But if it stays like this, it's going to be settled from the penalty spot. Well, my heart rate isn't coming down because Boreham Wood might fancy trying to go on and win this one. Well, the North Bank are singing away, as you may well expect. Well, I might not have a voice for West Ham Under-21's game this Friday. Herrick. I didn't want an equaliser to come that way for Finlay Herrick. He is a absolutely superb goalkeeper. In fact, the best goalkeeper I have seen this season, and I've covered 72 games this season. It's just one of those. He has been an absolute rock for West Ham tonight. A cruel, cruel twist of fate indeed. And now it comes in. It's not quite over yet. And there we go. After 90 minutes, Boreham Wood and West Ham cannot be separated. At full time, it's Boreham Wood 2, West Ham United 2, and Boreham Wood have come from 2-0 down to level things up. Well, as this is the final of the National League, this now has to be settled, and it has to be settled via the penalty spot. Well, the drama. Abdul Malik at the start of the second half, dragging one back for Boreham Wood. And Aaron Henry snatching it right at the death to level things up. In the 26th minute, it was Lewis Orford who started things off for West Ham. In the 45th minute, it was Josh Landers. We're having another look now at some of this. That was the first goal of the game. Well, as we look at some of the highlights from that, from the 90 minutes, that was Orford's goal. Josh Landers, Abdul Malik and Aaron Henry. The drama, the excitement. This is football at its absolute finest. And now somebody is going to have to suffer the heartbreak of a penalty shootout defeat, whilst the other will wheel away in utter joy. And I assume we'll have a coin toss to see which end the penalties are going to be taken off. From our right is where the sold out away end is. Over 1,200 West Ham fans packed into Meadow Park tonight. To my left, underneath the North Bank, is where the very loud and vocal Boreham Wood fans are. We're in the main stand on the gantry, looking down right by the pictures that you're seeing on the camera. So I see Luke Gerrard marshalling his troops, setting everything up. Greg Lincoln down off to my right, in charge of the West Ham under-21s. Of course, Callum Reynolds went off the pitch, so Chris Bush is captain now for Boreham Wood. Referee Elliot Swallow, who's just asked for the captain, Aridas Golan-Beckes, will head over. And it looks like the penalties are going to be taken in front of the North Bank, off to our left. So in front of the Boreham Wood supporters. And that gets a cheer from the North Bank. So the the kicks will be taken from 12 yards. The side facing the North Bank. So a slight advantage there maybe to the home side, but ever so slightly. So here we go then. It all comes down to this. The final of the National League Cup has to be decided via a penalty shootout. Ted Curd between the sticks for Boreham Wood. Finlay Herrick for West Ham United. Finlay Herrick has worn that Boreham Wood goalkeeper kit already this season. For 11 games he kept 6 clean sheets before being recalled by Nuno Espirito Santo at West Ham United. Since then, he's been getting valuable experience with the men's senior side. And it's Josh Ajala who is making his way up first. Josh Ajala. Gets boos from the Boreham Wood supporters, but Josh Ajala, he scored 4 goals in the National League Cup this season. He's got 11 in all competitions for West Ham United under-21s. Ajala against Curd, the man on loan from Chelsea. Ajala puts the ball down on the spot. So North Bank doing everything they can to put Ajala off. Referee blows his whistle. Ajala steps up and he scores! And it's advantage West Ham. Josh Ajala calmly sends Ted Curd the wrong way. And for Boreham Wood, first up is Zach Brunt. Won the National League last season with Barnet. He's been a man on form this season as well. 13 league goals to his name this season, Zach Brunt. Yet to score in the National League Cup. Brunt against Herrick. Zach Brunt, and he scores! Left to the keeper, and it's 1-1 in the early stages of this shootout. Next up for West Ham, it's Lewis Orford, scored in this game to get things underway in the 26th minute. Scored 3 goals in the National League Cup this season, Lewis Orford. He scored 7 in all competitions for the under-21s. It's Lewis Orford against Ted Curd. And he scores. Cool, calm, collected from Lewis Orford. And it's Boreham Wood 1, West Ham United 2 in this shootout as Boreham Wood head to take their second, and it's Matt Rush, the man to take it. 22 league goals to his name this season, Matt Rush. He scored 4 in his last 3. 4 goals in the National League Cup this season. Matt Rush. And he scores as well, 2-2. So after 2 penalties each, it's all square at 2-2 in this penalty shootout. And here is Aridas Golenbekis, the captain for West Ham United tonight. He is going to take the next one. Scored against Aldershot in this competition. His only goal for the under-21s this season. He's taken a dead straight run up. Aridas Golenbekis switches to his left side. Oh, and his Kurd almost gets a hand to it, but Golenbekis scores. And it's Boreham Wood 2, West Ham 3. But all 5 penalties have been scored so far, and it's Aaron Henry stepping up now for Boreham Wood. He scored that last gasp equaliser right at the death in this game. Can he do it again? Henry against Herrick. Aaron Henry. Oh, and he scores as well. Places it bottom right-hand corner. Superb penalty. And after 3 penalties each, it's 3-3. Next up for West Ham, it's Josh Briggs. The 20-year-old defender has been at West Ham since joining from Linfield in Northern Ireland in August 2022. Played every minute of Northern Ireland's under-19s Euros campaign in 2024. And it's Briggs against Kurd. 3-3 in this shootout as we move to the 4th set of penalties. Josh Briggs against Kurd. Something he's going to have to give at some point. Oh, it's a good penalty. Sends Kurd the wrong way. West Ham scored all 4 of theirs, and it's Cameron Cox who makes his way now to take the next and the 4th penalty for Boreham Wood. The 27-year-old who's been capped by Wales at under-21s level, joined Boreham Wood from Colchester in 2022. Cox against Herrick. Oh, and he scores as well. Herrick goes the right way, but it's too much power on it from Cox. And after 4 penalties each, it's 4-4. All 8 penalties have been converted so far in this shootout. Next up for West Ham, it's Dan Cummings, Scotsman who came on in the second half. 3 goals in all competitions to his name this season for Dan Cummings, but he scored 29 in 37 for Celtic B last season, up against Ted Kurd. Cummings, the North Bank doing everything they can to try and put the Scotsman off. Cummings steps up and scores, buries it bottom left. Well, now we move to sudden death, because if Eriko Souza misses this, West Ham will win the 2025-26 National League Cup. It's Boreham Wood 4, West Ham 5. This is Boreham Wood's 5th penalty, and Souza has to score. Eriko Souza. Oh, it's gone in for the back of Herrick. It hit the post, ricocheted into the back of Herrick, and that is an almighty stroke of luck for Boreham Wood. And it's 5-5, and we move to sudden death. Well, I wonder how many hearts in the North Bank skipped a beat then. It's Ryan Battram now for West Ham. 10 penalties so far. All 10 have been scored. The quality on show has been exceptional. Battram against Kurd. And he scores. Kurd went the right way. Buried it bottom right-hand corner. And it's a 6th penalty scored for West Ham. It's Chris Bush now who makes his way. 33-year-old. Won the FA Trophy in 2022 with Bromley. Tasted silverware. Puts the ball down. Has to score, otherwise West Ham will be the National League Cup winners. Chris Bush up against Finlay Herrick. Oh, he scores down the middle. And we continue here at 6-6. It's Gabriel Caliste up next for West Ham, the Mauritius international. Made his debut for Mauritius against India in 2024. Scored on Friday in a 2-1 loss at home against Reading in the Premier League 2. And here is Gabriel Caliste. Would you believe it? 12 penalties, all 12 have been scored so far. Caliste steps up. Oh, and it's saved! It's saved! Ted Kurd makes a super save, and it's advantage Boreham Wood here. And Charlie O'Connell has a chance to win the National League Cup for Boreham Wood. And would you believe it, Charlie O'Connell came through the ranks at West Ham as well. Well, the West Ham players go over to Gabriel Caliste, showing him support. Brilliant stuff from the young Hammers down there. West Ham fans are singing Blowing Bubbles off to my right. Charlie O'Connell has a chance to win the National League Cup for Boreham Wood against Finlay Herrick. O'Connell, and he scores! And Boreham Wood are the 2025-26 National League Cup champions. And look at what it means. Sheer delight in the North Bank. Boreham Wood have some silverware to put in the cabinet tonight. Well, Chris Bush has gone straight over to the West Ham players. And they're all shaking hands down there. Great sportsmanship from both set of players. Nobody's lost tonight. It has been a wonderful game of football. West Ham have got so much to be proud of and to look forward to still this season, with the elimination playoffs in Premier League 2 still to come. The matter of Blackburn Rovers away on Friday afternoon, but for Boreham Wood it is the taste of success and silverware. Luke Gerrard, the Boreham Wood manager, he wanted this. It could just be the best night in his career in charge of Boreham Wood. He is Mr. Boreham Wood. He's had an involvement in the club since 2015. He won the National League South playoffs last season. He's won 2 Hearts Senior Cups, and now he can add the National League Cup into that as Boreham Wood become the first National League side to lift the trophy. As we get everything set up for the trophy presentation, stay with us everybody Thank you to all of you for tuning in tonight. We really hope you've enjoyed it. West Ham, has to be said, they were a minute and a half away from lifting the trophy before Aaron Henry fired a thunderbolt in, took a deflection or so and trickled through the legs of Finlay Herrick into the goal. That levelled it up at 2-2. And after a simply sensational penalty shootout, Boreham Wood get the job done. 7-6 on penalties. Quite a remarkable evening here at Boreham Wood. Can the Wood go on and win the playoffs in the National League and get themselves to the Football League for the first time as well? It is shaping up to be the best season in the club's history. Well, commiserations to West Ham though. They have performed like superstars tonight. Remember those names down there: Finlay Herrick, Ryan Batcham, Ryan Oyabadi, Tyron Akpata, Aridas Golden-Beckers, Josh Briggs, Preston Fearon, Lewis Orford, Josh Landers, Josh Ajana, Regan Clayton, Finlay Hooper, Dan Cummings, Gabriel Calise, Jethro Medine, Callum Leacock, Riley Hargan and Andre Dyke. Remember those names. But right now, the Boreham Wood players on the pitch are taking in the rapturous applause and cheers from the home support. This is a big night for Boreham Wood Football Club. Quite possibly the biggest in their history. Congratulations to Danny Hunter, the chairman, Luke Gerrard, the manager. It's for nights like this that makes everything worthwhile. I think unfortunately for the trophy lifter, we'll bring it for you, but from my position on the gantry, I'm going to have my backs to the players, and I think you might on the camera too, but we'll still bring you the trophy lift. Well, 2-2 after 90 minutes, and in 7-6 to Boreham Wood in the penalty shootout. It's the stuff of dreams for Boreham Wood. They do have to get themselves lifted, though, for the rather large matter of Gateshead visiting Meadow Park this Saturday. 3 o'clock kickoff there. As we said a few times, West Ham next in action this Friday. 1 o'clock kickoff away at Blackburn Rovers. I will be on commentary for that game. It'll be live on the West Ham United YouTube channel, so if you're watching on there, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well, just to make sure you don't miss any of the action coming up. You can watch all of the West Ham under-21 games live and free over on the West Ham United YouTube channel. Well, Boreham Wood are just in a huddle right now. Luke Gerrard right in the centre of it. First took charge in 2015 when he became the youngest manager in any of England's top 5 tiers. Briefly left the club at the end of the 23-24 season after relegation back to the National League South, but got the call up just a few months into the 24-25 season and came back and guided the club straight back into the National League. And this season he has worked absolute wonders, currently sat comfortably 4th in the Enterprise National League. Well, if there are any National League fans tuning in and interested in the other games taking place tonight, it is Brackley 0, Solihull Moors 1. These games all moving into the 70, between the sort of 65th and 75th minutes. Brackley 0, Solihull 1, Gateshead 1, Wealdstone 0, Southend 3, Rochdale 2. Could Rochdale pull that one back? Truro 1, Scunthorpe United 2, and Woking 1, Yeovil 0. What the fans in the memorial stand lining the side and the north bank off to our left. I can't actually see how many fans are still left in the seated stand beneath my position here. Just see Jack Payne as well. He's gone to put his shirt on. Jack Payne has been a big part of this club Boreham Wood for the last few years. He's a player assistant manager now here at Boreham Wood. 34-year-old still makes appearances for Boreham Wood. Also played for Gillingham, Peterborough, Blackpool, Eastleigh and Crawley. A big moment for him as well. So the players go over. We will go through the formalities very shortly. Our officials for tonight will receive their medals first of all. Elliot Swallow, Marcus Carmichael, Coleman O'Meara and Lewis Sando. As we're about to get on with the presentation here. Premier League, big presence here today as well. In fact, the Premier League trophy is in the glass house, the clubhouse here. Did actually have a little picture taken with it a little bit earlier. Premier League have made a big noise today, which is great to see. Good to have the Premier League support for the National League Cup. So a couple of representatives just come up to the podium to start preparing the medals. Also, a number of West Ham fans have stuck around here to watch this as our officials make their way up to receive their medals. Big thank you to Elliot Swallow, Marcus Carmichael, Coleman O'Meara and Lewis Sando. Sando at the back there making his way in the jacket. And now it's the turn of West Ham United under-21s to receive their runners-up medals, led by the captain, Aradas Golombekis. They've got a lot to be proud of tonight, West Ham. They came within a whisper of winning the trophy. They have played their part in a truly sensational night tonight, one that will live forever in the memory of Boreham Wood, and one that these young men will certainly grow from as they look to take the next step on their footballing journey, wherever it may take them. Remember the names, as I said before. I'm sure a vast number of them will be appearing in the West Ham men's senior side sooner rather than later. And the Boreham Wood players and staff respectfully applauding their opponents. And credit to Finlay Herrick as well there. He's just clapped the Boreham Wood fans as well. A class act from a class player. And now it's the turn of Boreham Wood to make their way up to the podium. And it is a moment in football that you just cannot put a price on. It doesn't matter what competition. Look at what it meant to Newcastle in the League Cup final last season. Look at what it meant to Crystal Palace last summer. And look at what it means to Boreham Wood. Zach Brunt is getting quite a collection of medals here as well, winning the National League Cup. I was actually at the Hive last season, when on the final day of the season, when they won the title and lifted the trophy. And he's going to lift another one as well. Abdul Malik just makes his way up onto the podium. What a player he has been for this club. Aaron Henry was just behind him. He scored that late leveller to send it to a penalty shootout. Joe Newton steps up. That's Charles Claydon, who didn't get on the pitch tonight, Charles Claydon, but he's been a big part of this club as well. Scored the playoff final winner against Maidstone. Still just waiting is Eriko Souza and Femi Ilisandi. Some of the staff now just receiving their bits and bobs as they make their way onto the podium. Luke Gerrard is letting everybody else go before him. Callum Reynolds down there as well. Luke Gerrard now finally gets his medal. This will mean so much to him. The hard work that he puts into this club. As we wait for the flames, we wait for the fireworks as Boreham Wood are about to lift the trophy here. Please give it up for your 2025-26 National League Cup champions, Boreham Wood. A truly magical moment as the flames light up the night sky in South Hertfordshire, because Boreham Wood are the champions. The trophy goes into the sky. Sorry, we actually don't have a better view for you right at the front, but we get a picture. We get a better view of the flames at the back here. You can feel the heat billowing off them as every player gets their turn lifting up the trophy. It has been a magical night here. It's just a shame there's had to be a loser. But that is sport, that is football. West Ham have got a lot to be proud for. Oh, like I said, we do have a camera right down the front. How good is that? Luke Gerrard, the manager, with the trophy in his hands. He's going to go to sleep tonight a very, very happy man. I hope the pubs are staying open late in Boreham Wood, because there's going to be a party here tonight. The music rings around Meadow Park and it draws a close to the 2025-26 National League Cup. A huge thank you to all of you for tuning in tonight and following the National League Cup this season. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I've been your commentator, Ian Waterhouse. It's been a real privilege and an honour to be able to call the action tonight. Commiserations to West Ham United. They have played their part in a scintillating final. But congratulations to Boreham Wood. They are the 2025-26 National League Cup winners. Thanks for watching, everybody.